So last night, All the Bright Places dropped on Netflix, and I was debating whether or not I should watch it. When you open up the preview of a movie on the Netflix app, a lot of times they will have little soundbite words to get you intrigued and sort of sum up the film. And as you can see, the descriptive words that Netflix chose for All the Bright Places are emotional, romantic, dark, tearjerker. Not exactly the kind of movie you might be in the mood for if you're just trying to wind down from a week of classes. Another reason that I was on the fence about watching the film is that I am a reader, and since this movie is based on a book, I would feel kind of shitty if I didn't at least attempt to read the book before watching the film. So I figured, why not just do that? I looked this book up on Goodreads and I could see that it was very well loved. It won a Goodreads Choice Awards, it has hundreds of thousands of ratings and reviews, but I found that when scrolling through the top voted reviews on Goodreads, there were very polarizing opinions. There were 4 stars, 5 stars, and then numerous 1-star reviews as well. And I'm not really sure what to make of that. Reading can be a very subjective experience. I know that there have been books that I have read that I have had emotional, visceral reactions to, whether good or bad. And given that Netflix described this movie, and I'm assuming would describe the book as emotional, I can't be too sure what I'm getting myself into. For those of you who have never heard of this book or film, it follows a young high schooler named Theodore Finch as he strikes up a friendship with a girl in his school, Violet Markey, who recently lost her older sister in a tragic car accident that both of them were involved in. Finch, as he goes by, and Violet are paired together on a project, and through that project they get to know one another, they learn more about one another, and of course learn about themselves along the way. Now this book deals with triggering material. I already knew that going in, and in fact I am about 30% done with this book already. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I am about halfway through the book. But at the very start of the novel, Theodore and Violet meet on a roof, and Theodore basically stops her from jumping. And then the entire school thinks that it was actually the other way around, that Violet was the one who saved Theodore. So it's not exactly the meet cute that I am used to in contemporary novels. Violet is dealing with grief and survivor's guilt because her and her sister were in an accident and only she survived. And Theodore struggles with mental illness, particularly depression. And I haven't quite gotten to it yet, but I'm sure the romance aspects of the novel are gonna start picking up soon. I haven't read anything that would warrant me giving it a 5-star or a 1-star rating. At the moment, I'm hovering at a 3. I'm enjoying certain aspects. Other aspects could be better. Mainly my gripes are with the writing style. I feel like it's kind of choppy. I don't know, I just feel like I'm really tense when I'm reading this novel. Like I'm just waiting for something bad to happen, because this book was pitched and compared to The Fault in Our Stars, and we all know how that movie goes. I don't know, I just feel like ever since 2014, when The Fault in Our Stars was like really popular and you saw all of these books crop up in the publishing industry that were trying to mimic that same type of story, I feel like there's been a lot of discussion ever since then about whether or not these kinds of books actually do justice to the subject matter and to the characters. Sometimes they can come off very disingenuous. It feels like maybe the author is reducing their character to just their illness. And then at the same time, there are people who feel represented by these books, who are emotionally attached to them. I feel like I'm just like somewhere in the middle. Like I said, I'm waiting for that thing to happen. I don't know what the thing is, but I'm waiting for it. I don't know how to feel about it, okay? That is the only definitive statement that I can make about this book, even though I'm halfway through it. I feel like I should have like pretty solid feelings, but I don't. It has been 70-something odd pages since I updated you guys. I now only have 100 pages left in this book, and I still don't know what to think about it. So a few updates are in order in regards to Finch and Violet's relationship. So they had sex and Violet didn't come home that night. So then her parents got very anxious. Obviously they lost a daughter and they're like very anxious about the only kid that they have left. And then they forbid her from seeing Finch because they're just like, he's dangerous. And this just feels all very like Dirty Dancing, star-crossed lover. And throughout the entire novel, we see Finch interacting with his dad, who is just the biggest piece of shit on the planet. Like, actually, this dude is the worst. Like, you know when you think about characters and you're just like, is it possible for them to get any shittier than they are in this present moment? And then they just keep getting shittier. That is this man. Like, he's just the worst. He's awful. He's terrible. In the scene that I just read, Finch was talking to his high school guidance counselor, which he does every week, and his guidance counselor brought up bipolar disorder and sort of was hinting at the fact that Finch might have this disorder, and Finch didn't even want to hear it. He got up, he got out. Let me read this part to you guys because I don't really know how to feel about it. The thing I know about bipolar disorder is that it's a label, one you give crazy people. I know this because I've taken junior year psychology and I've seen movies and I've watched my father in action for almost 18 years, even though you could never slap a label on him because he would kill you. Labels like bipolar say this is why you are the way you are, this is who you are. They explain people away as illnesses. Everyone has their own experience with their mental illness, and maybe this is just the way that Finch thinks, or he has been conditioned to think. Because he mentions movies, and we all know that movie portrayals of mental health are not so fantastic. Right now, once again, I have to end on the statement that I don't know how to feel. Okay, I had to pause for a second because I cannot handle the absolute incompetency and baffling blasé attitude that Finch's mother has. Finch has been missing for multiple days and no one gives a fuck. His mother is just like, oh, that's how he always is. Like, he just disappears. And I'm just like, what, ma'am? I don't know if it's just because I have immigrant parents, but this is like legitimately pissing me off. That was a lot. I don't know. Oh no, I don't want to cry. I feel very vulnerable right now. Like, I'm on the verge of tears. Hey, how y'all doing? So I went away to compose myself. I don't know how well I did because I think there might still be some mascara under my eyes, but you know what? It's fine. I'm just gonna roll with it. Honestly, I think the longer that I wait to start watching the movie, the likelihood of me just not watching it at all is just going to increase. After I finish the movie, hopefully I will have more coherent thoughts and, you know, have actually figured out my feelings. Because right now, like, I'm feeling my feelings and I can't discern what the feelings actually are when I'm feeling them. You know, this doesn't make any sense. I don't know what I'm doing. No doubt about it, I am ready to be hurt again. Also, before anybody comments on this, yes, I watch my movies at 1.5, even 2 times speed.
What are you doing? What are you doing? I asked you first. Look, I get it if I
love that Keegan is playing the counselor. I love that casting. There are so many recognizable faces in this movie. Like, I didn't know that half these actors were in this film. I love it. I already love him. I love him so much. It's probably because I just love Justice Smith, but like, oh my god. Oh, this is gonna hurt like a motherfucker.
Be thoughtful. Okay. What is that? so, are you okay? Alright, let's do it.
Oh, the way I love him.
Yes, I am done. Excited to say you are doing a fine job teaching this class. My young brain is plumb with knowledge. Thank you. You're welcome.
Oh, fuck. I can't watch this. I feel like this is one of those stories that, like, you can only read or, like, consume the one time, because watching it back, like, knowing what I know.
How much longer are you gonna act like this? You're gonna just...
Bit. Ooh. Mm.
Please. Harley.
Sir.
You know, I didn't mean it like
that was... Mm.
Okay.
Oh, he's so sweet. Damn it. This entire movie is just going to be me reacting to things that Justice Smith / Theo does and then saying damn it and getting all upset afterwards. I wonder if they're just gonna ditch the storyline of Finch's parents. because they haven't showed up yet. But I doubt that they would do that, or I hope they don't do that, because it is, you know, a really big part of his arc.
Do not tell the truth about yourself. Do not tell them about it.
Why don't you just copy and paste it? What? That bugs me. Why didn't you just copy and paste it? What the heck? They have really good chemistry. And basically the entire movie rides on that, so. I have a feeling that these two are gonna fuck me up. Like, teenager and guidance counselor relationships in these, like, teen coming-of-age movies, like, they always get me.
This is off-brand.
Oh my god. I feel like this is illegal. I feel like this is illegal, Jeff. There has to be some kind of federal regulation on these kinds of things. Ooh. Oh, what? No. Oh no. Oh shit.
I'm going to search a book.
Oh shit.
Where do you go when you disappear?
Sometimes I have to go to places that make me feel like myself. I need to do things that remind me that I'm in control.
Oh no. Fuck.
Call me a freak one more time. Fucking freak.
Ooh!
So, he thinks everybody leaves him. I won't do that.
He was like that because he was a shitty person.
There has to be a reason, though. Because if there's a reason, then he could get better. Something or someone could make him better, right? I'm the freak. I'm fucked up. Go!
Ah, shit. Oh.
He made some.
Oh.
Sorry. Sorry that I pushed. Didn't need you to come back. Standing on the ledge. That's how I met Finch. It was sad.
Oh, glad Finch was there.
Oh no. Oh, fuck. Oh no. Oh no.
Those no longer here. You were taken from us too soon. And we walked. You taught me that you don't have to climb a mountain to stand on top of the world. That it's okay to get lost. As long as you find your way back. I missed that he was in pain. Finch was a dreamer. He drank when he was awake. And that there are right places. And in dark times. And that if there isn't, you can be that right place. Infinite capacities.
Not again. Fuck. I think that's enough for tonight. I think I'm gonna just go to sleep and like give you my full thoughts tomorrow because I am not in the right headspace to be talking about this. Good night. So I've had some time to think about the book, the movie, the differences between them, what I thought was done well, what I thought was not adapted as it could have been. Let's start with some of the big differences that I saw in the movie. One, and probably the most glaring difference, was that Finch's parents were non-existent in the film. Now, for the sake of time, I can understand why they might have done this, but I felt like his parents were such a huge part of his storyline that it was kind of a shame to not get to see that. I also would have liked to have seen more counseling sessions with Mr. Embry. I mean, you have Keegan right there, this incredible actor, this great humor, and you just kind of don't utilize him to his full potential, and especially he and Justice Smith, I feel like they could have just had so many incredible scenes, particularly that scene where Mr. Embry brings up the fact that he thinks Theo might have bipolar disorder. That scene was not in it. In fact, I don't think that they ever mentioned bipolar disorder at all in regards to Theo. And I get it, Theo was all about not putting labels on people, not wanting to feel boxed in, women. Now, I think that the movie did such a great job portraying Violet and Theo both individually and their relationship. In the book, I struggled to really think of them as a believable couple. I couldn't really understand why they were falling in love. It all seemed very rushed. But I think Dakota and Justice just did such an amazing job bringing the characters and the chemistry to life. Both the book and the film elicited an emotional response from me, as you saw. So finally, what are my thoughts on this story? What do I think of it? Do I agree with the Goodreads reviews that think that this book is reductive, that the characters are just projections of their mental illnesses? Or is this book and film the most amazing thing that I've ever watched, and I am so absolutely in love with it? I have to say that for me, when it comes to this film and this book, I did enjoy them as much as you can enjoy these stories that deal with such heavy and important issues. I think it's just such a subjective thing. I mean, when it comes to stories like this, where do we draw the line between representation and reduction and romanticization? And who gets to say where that line is drawn? I think it's really just up to the individual reader and viewer. So that's it for me today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know if you've read this book, if you've watched the film, and what your thoughts are. All of my social media links are in the description below, so check those out if you would like, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.